Hey, good people, my name is still Benga Adeyinka the first. Forget the fact that I'm married, I've not changed my name. It's gisting with the GCON. And like I always say, it's better to jojo than to war. It's better to talk, you. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. It's better to talk than for you to get high blood pressure. It's better to talk than for you to be driving and have accidents. And what's another name for talking? Is gisting. When you gist, you learn. When you gist, your blood pressure goes down. When you gist, you make money. When you gist, you get ideas. So it's gisting with the GCON. And my guest today is someone I call my darling sister. She is an astute entrepreneur. She has dominated the event management and decoration sector in Nigeria. Her entry into the event management space changed the headlines, and her reputation as a formidable manager of events in Nigeria is legendary. She deployed an amazing precision and attention to detail that has resulted in the complete transformation of any space she has touched. She has made some of the most spectacular events in Nigeria, and she has put a lot of money in my pockets too. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister, my friend, my darling Aburo, the head honcho at Finesse Events, Kende Onobanjo Iyiola.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sis me.
Again.
So you have time.
100%.
You have time.
But I tell people I'm always available.
Like
away.
You never have time.
Just a phone.
You are the only person I know who does events in Lagos on Monday, events in Ibadan on Tuesday, events in Abeokuta on Wednesday, Lagos Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't know what part of the world.
But I'm always available.
This is the only person I know that I was telling at one event. She was heavily pregnant. I said, go and sit down, go and sit down, go and sit down. We'll do it. Go and sit down, go and sit down. Guess what? She was traveling that night. I said, guess what? She called me the next morning or the day after. Egbon, mo bimo lana. I said, what kind of human being is this? Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Let me start with this. You're welcome. Let me start with this. Where do you get that energy from? Do you smoke Igbo? Do you take energy drink? Are you on something? What is wrong with you?
You know what? Funny enough, I've asked myself repeatedly where I get this energy from. I think it's just from God. Because if I've done like back to back and back to back and back to back, and people always even say that, and they call me for another event, I'm actually ready to go. Until when I'm done with the last one,
you don't break down.
I tell you. But you see, once I'm done, all that stress just boom falls on me, and all I need to do is just to sleep.
Do you lose your voice?
So I don't really find myself shouting most times.
Does your back ache?
100%.
Your legs?
Hot, like they're hammering my feet.
Your ankles?
100%. But once I
So why don't you just go and sit down when I tell you to sit down?
But you know, it's the work we do. It keeps pushing you and keeps driving you, and of course, you won't stop until you've gotten like the feel. When something is excellent for me, it's an excellent thing, and you see it until I hit it.
You are never satisfied. Get out. You are never satisfied. You are never satisfied. This lady right here has done some of the biggest events in Nigeria. Just me. Just tell me some of those events.
Okay, so there's this particular popular one that everybody's talking about, which is the Dr. T's wedding. And that was one kind of a wedding that, oh my goodness, I look forward to having such an event.
The 100 billion naira.
Amen. No, even Dr. T wish she actually, but I don't think Dr. T will actually spend that kind of money. Dr. T has, when someone has exceptional taste,
she does.
She knows what she wants. I know one of those days that we were talking, she said, that I've been calling Tiglam. I've been called Tiglams for years. That name just didn't
spring up.
Didn't just spring up. Now, so she pays attention to details. She was very specific and very particular on what she wanted. And of course, she came to the delivery boss lady that would ensure that everything she desires, she gets.
Now, let me tell you something, Kenny. Olojoro ni. You are an Ojoro person.
Why did you say that?
I've done a lot of events at
Whitestone.
Whitestone.
Yeah.
Come on. I entered that place that day and it was like fairyland. It was. How long did it take you to put that together?
I think about 2.5 days. Yeah, but it was a lot of work. When her husband also got, her husband was like, boom, oh my goodness. It was a lot. I won't even say what, but probably because Dr. C knew what she wanted. Dr. C was on every social, she was doing research. She was very specific and very particular. And she just said, you know what? If you can deliver this to me, I'll be very pleased. It's not like she broke the bank, but she was very detailed. We've seen weddings that they've actually even spent more
And nothing happened.
and they didn't get such results. So it's about having to know what you want and having to use the right resources and the right vendors to get it delivered to you. It was an outstanding event. Everything from the disco party to the engagement party to the reception to the judge blessing. As a matter of fact,
to the MC.
to the MC.
The MC.
As a matter of fact, when she was walking down the aisle for the blessings, oh my goodness, seeing her actually brought tears to my eyes because it was so magical. Having, she said she wanted the mirror walkway, she wanted the flowers, her dress was beautiful, everything married so well together, and it was excellent. It was amazing.
Tell me of some other. One thing about you is that you do some events. I go, is this girl crazy? Tell me about some other events. There's one that is in my mind now. If you don't mention it, I'll mention it. But tell me of some other events.
So we've done. People always ask me, how do we push those large numbers off? So I could recall when we did Governor Makinde's mother's burial.
That's the one in my mind.
Yeah, which was for about 15,000 guests. And I just put all the cards on the table and we were able to just, play it out, coordinate it, marry it, delegated, and it was seamless.
We had one large stage that the MCs and the band played for. I did that with my brother TA.
Yes.
Then we now had three
the VIP section,
VIP
we had
section,
the family tent, the political tent.
Apart from those three tents, you now had one other tent outside for politicians and all that.
Yes. It was nicely barricaded. It was well coordinated. We had all their food vendors inside all of their tents. We had the drinks people. It was seamless. And after the event, the first time I actually did his event was, I think, about 14 years ago.
He had not known he was going to become a governor that year.
But even at that event was also very big. As at then, it was for, I think, about 4,000 guests. And I think he had even run for the governorship election, but then he didn't win. And he still had the big crowd. And after that event, he was so pleased and he was like, Kende, no, that I entered into every tent and everybody had something positive to say. I'm too pleased. After that event, I said, you know what, I need to surprise you. I need to gift you something.
Oh.
Yes, it was the first client to give me a gift and I was blown away. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was very grateful. And of course, after that event, so many other events springed up. And it was also the one that, of course, through him, we did Alafin's burial and we did Olubado. And those were large numbers that, at the end of it all, everything came out excellently well.
That Alafin's burial pained me. I had one event that day that I could not let go. It pained me because I'll have chopped government money.
I told you. And it was also a nice event. So, to the glory of God.
Is there anything in your childhood that prepared you for this?
Yes. So my mom, all her life she's been a teacher, but then she loved to. So my mom studied catering and nutrition or something like that. And from there, back in those days, she used to do bits of decoration for Administrative Staff College of Nigeria.
Ascon in Badagry.
Yes, in Badagry, yeah. And so back then was when we first of all had the experience of having to do drapes and buying little flowers of putting on the head table, setting up high tables. We'll follow her to those setup. I can even picture it. I can recall vividly. And all of us would be playing around the hall. My mom would be trying to call everybody to arrange the chairs. I know it was such a beautiful experience. So after school, and she used to come back in school those days when I used to do a string job. She'd be like, why don't you just try and settle into this? I said, no, I studied
I'm
law.
just doing this to...
Sorry, you studied law.
You studied
law.
Jesus.
And I was just...
So you're using your lawyer to
carry table and chair. But guess what? I actually love doing this. Having done this for... Yesterday, I realized that I was saying 14 years. Guess what? No, I was saying 15 years. It's 16 years now. that we've been in business. And God has been faithful through the years. We've done from big to small. I was telling some of my staff the other day that what? The first event that got me into serious government event was a small garden party for about 50 people for the
Whoa.
back then Bayelsa State's governor's PA. Sorry, the AG. And the governor's PA came into the event. You're like, oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. Like, what did he set up? I'm like, it's one lady, one young girl. And of course, then I was still very tiny. And then she was like, okay, can you call her? I'd even left the place for another event. And so he called, said, Kenny, you need to start coming right now. Someone needs to see you. And I went there and I met the beautiful lady with a golden, beautiful heart.
Wow.
And she said, Kenny, I'm so impressed. I love this. Can you come to Bellstars tomorrow?
You
And
didn't ask
I'm
her
like,
that, what job? What am I doing?
and I'm like, of course, yes. When I said,
You
you
know,
know
that's the
what?
most stupid question they ask me. Oh.
Can you?
Can you be in Abuja
What
tomorrow?
other job do you have?
Somebody said, I said, sir, I went to see him and told him, Oga, I'm on your neck. Oh. I'm holding on. I said, what if the events are in Abuja? I said, sir, if it's Niger Republic, I will go. So the lady was good to you.
Good to me, but then you know me so well. And I always tell my people that nobody see your pain and they don't see the hard work. I've been on my, the last weekend, I was telling someone that I was practically on my feet from on Wednesday till on Sunday. Like, I practically sat down for max, say maybe 5 minutes or thereabout. By the time I was done, as a matter of fact, this morning I struggled to get out of the bed. So people don't see those struggles. They don't
When
see
I saw
those
your
hard work.
PA, in my mind I was saying, this guy will chop beating here today. You have come, your guy is not here. So when I know my beer at an event, I will beat you here today.
And I'll be hearing that you're spanking
Yes,
her.
so.
No, I know you won't do that.
Okay.
But of course, hard work pays, and I always tell people, just keep at it. Keep doing what you love to do. People are always quick to see the quick results, the success, without having to, break all the sweats, push all the boundaries. But in the long run of it, we get to see.
Okay. We're talking about events. Don't.
I should not
Okay.
turn into more.
Tell me more. Tell me more events. Tell me more events.
Okay. Okay. So of course, I've done a lot of royal events too.
Mhm.
So I did the coronation of Kabi. So as a matter of fact, let me tell you this story. So back, this was I think some 13 years back. The new above Ojora, sorry,
Yeah.
Ijora was going to be installed, and of course they had called different event planners, and I had this very wonderful brother of mine, now the MD of LHDPC. It was then the Upper Local Government Chairman, and of course they had also called me
Who
to come.
kept just saying this
Yes,
person? Oh,
yes. And of course, there was Mr. Dakwali Balogun, and a lot of people had different interests on, what this person has done this, but and he kept saying, no, 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 no. See, honor me and just let's use Kendi. And everybody said, no, he's trying to,
Impose.
impose me on them and all of that. I said, no, I know what Kendi can do. Why don't you just allow her? And then, after long said, we were there for over 8 hours having to deliberate who should, eventually, after we had done all our presentation, eventually they said, okay, we should go ahead and we should do the job. The morning of that event, it still resonates in my head. When he got into the hall, it wasn't a hall, it was a tent.
Imaki, just at the foot of the third mainland bridge.
Yes. No, not that was Oworo.
But that was Oworo, yes.
This was Ojora in Apapa. When he got into the tent, it was like, please, where's Kendi? And I was just, I don't know, you need to look for her for me.
Look for her.
And I went to, meet him. The picture is somewhere online. He said, Kendi, I need to personally apologize to you.
Oh.
This is beyond my imagination. This is mind-blowing. I should thank you for how, this is beyond what I could have. Thank you very much. From that event, we got about another, I think, 4 installation of Obas. One of it was the installation of Kabiyesi Elegushi. And it was from that job that, they said, this is nice. Who did this event?
You got Oniru.
So, of course, years after, so we did Elegushi, we did Ogbo of Eri, in somewhere after Ikorodu.
Ikorodu, yes.
And of course, we've done a lot of, installation. There was a particular picture I saw some years back. I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I had above Ijora, sorry, and I had above Elegushi, and I had above Nero, and I was like, funny enough, I did all the coronation of all of these obas. So we've done like good high profile events, and of course we've delivered excellently well too, to the glory of God. And that big event we did was the 80th birthday of Chief Razak Okoya.
Akoni.
Yes.
Okoya. My sorry, I can't say that name. Sitting down. Daddy. Are Okoya. Thank you for all you do.
Yes.
And
yes.
doctor, I appreciate you always.
Yes. And that was another big event that we handled. Like from start, the decoration, the ambience was everything. People got into that garden and it was like boom. We started lighting up the garden, having to put all the light on those trees for over a month.
Whoa.
Yes. It didn't just come like boom. It took us like a month having to do all the light installation.
Wow.
Yes. It took us like a week to level the ground, then put the grass carpet before. So initially we were going to use one of those big halls they have inside in the premises, yeah. But because of the caliber of people that were coming, the access to the hall,
This one video ambience. We have to play. Editor, play it now. Play it.
Lórí Akànní Rasaki o, Akànní wọn kì í dá ní ìdòfò bọ́dún dé. Lọ́dọ̀ Rasaki o, ọmọ onílé ajé mi, Akànní Rasaki. Mo mọ wọn ara mi, mo yà abẹ́ ọkọ yà lọ. Onílé ayé, mo mọ wọn ara mi, mo yà abẹ́ ọkọ yà lọ.
This event was before Asiwaju became president.
Yes.
K1 performed.
So it was.
So many artists performed.
Yes.
It was at that event that somebody gave money to Asiwaju, one load like this, and he gave it straight to K1. And when I was telling K1, it was that event. Let me not say has given me so many events. It was a master class in events. So, how do you come about those spectacular ambience? Is it that you draw it? Is it that it just comes to you in your mind, or how do you achieve those venues?
Okay, so number one, of course, I do a lot of research. Secondly, it also comes with creativity. Once you get into a space, people always tell me that once I just appear, I know. So and I think also the Holy Spirit teaches me, and I can't take that away. There's a project I'm actually trying to do, and I was, busting my brain. I was up all night. That okay, what can I do? And I just heard, place this here. And I just did that, and it made all the difference.
Wow.
So I can't take the glory for having to. But then once I get into a space, and of course I have those materials, I know how to say, okay, kind of play with this space, put this here, place this here, consider the movement, consider the vendors, consider the access points. It just comes out exceptionally well. And of course, like I said earlier, I can't take the glory, but then of course I do a lot of research. And of course, creativity also comes to play.
When you started, after a while, did you have to do any professional courses? Did you have to go for any training to get better, or is just that raw talent you still use?
Okay, so from time to time I've done trainings. I was still in Ghana. So I go for trainings, I go for conferences, I attend those seminars. But of course, it still has to boil down with what you want to make out of every experience you've had, even from the trainings to research. And of course, you don't want to repeat other people's ideas. So it boils down to you having to be creative and not having to, people can copy and just place. But then you have to be creative. And I'm so careful not to have someone else's identity or someone else's brand. So I try as much as possible to be unique in my own space, in my own way. I don't want to be like any other person.
So what is Kenny? What is finesse? If I walk into a hall, how do I know? Even if I don't see you, no. Finesse Lele.
Okay, so Finesse is known for excellence. Finesse is also known for having to leave a positive memory in the mind of our clients. Now, when we set up Advice Stone, people always say, no, if it is madam. My job never finishes. And it's not like I tell them that it's not like my job never finishes. I just want to always ensure that we've been able to, some other people have eyes for this detail. And when they come in and they don't see those perfections, they don't see those excellence, they try to question it that these people said they've done or they collected. So I try to, ensure that you do this, everything should look smooth in your eyes. And I always ask my people, if you're the one that paid for this service and this is what you get, will you be happy? So ensure that you deliver a service that is second to none.
Of all the events you've done, all of them, it might even be that one you collected 5,000 for. Which event can you never ever forget in your life?
Okay, so every of our events is very, very dear to me. And like I always tell people, if our Instagram page does not even, there was a particular event we had and the bride said, you know what, she did a particular video. I'll probably share the video. I said, no, you know what, Finesse Instagram page does not even speak so well about their job. It's about the experience. And for me, most of those clients eventually become like family to me. So every of the events, I take it very personal because it's not beyond having to say, okay, we've engaged your services for a job. Every event, every single job we've done have turned out to be memorable, to be exceptional to me. So
let me just say that Kenny is an Alashiju. Even my event that we didn't pay her for, the Lagos at last event. She said, Okbega, this chairs, why don't we bring chairs? Hey, madam, we are not paying, Said, okay, I have this stage that just came in. Let me see who can do this. Can I possibly? I said, my event turned out, even without paying, my event was. Now
and it's not even always about.
She has scared me for this year now. Because that our event was too much for a first show. In Lagos, it was too much. So you're in trouble now. So what is it for you? I've spoken to a lot of people in the service industry, and they say when we are working, we want to build a relationship.
Okay.
Some say, it's money if you pay me when I work well. Some say that we just want to become families with the people we work with.
Okay.
Which is it for you?
So for me, and I've always said this, there's no how you add value to people and value will not come back to you. That's one. Two, it has always been about the relationship for me. And then most times, I don't even sell the Finesse brand. It's those relationships that we've built. They will call me, look, Kehinde, someone wants to do Kiniko for their, please, are you interested? Kehinde, someone said they called you, you've not picked your call. Can you respond? Now, they will carry Finesse matter on their
head.
Yes. And they'll keep calling. Even Dr. T had called, hello, mama, are you interested? Someone else want to do, and someone said that they've been talking to you. And I said, no, don't worry, it's about the beautiful relationship that we've been able to make. And like I said every event is very dear to me because it's about the relationship we built. And from that one job, repeated event comes out of it. So for me, it's about the relationship.
Should I shock you? Our event this year, I got confused with venue and all that. You are insisting on one venue, not yours anyway. I got an offer for one other venue, and the other venue we used last year. So when I got confused, I said, well, let me call somebody that I want to be at the venue. So I called Dr. Mrs. Okoya and said, I need your advice. Where should we? She now spoke as well. You know what? Kenny man mo gbogbo àwọn kini Kenny I said maybe it's Kenny and I said okay share our caller. So for you, relationship means a lot. Now, thank you, Kenny. Oh, God bless you, Kenny. I love you, Kenny. You have blown my mind. Hello, Kenny, what for me? Have you ever had any events? Hello, Kenny. Oh, madam, you will refund my money. Hey, Kenny, have you ever had a bad day?
Okay, so for me, another thing that I know I do so well is I under-promise and I over-deliver. Now, so for what I've not even told you that I will give to you, by the time you come there and you see A, B, C, D that you know you've not paid for, and I always tell my clients, as long as you've accepted to get on a job, whatever amount of money that they paid you does no longer matter. It's the outcome and the outlook of now you having to deliver that matters. And you want to ensure that you leave a positive impression in the mind of those clients. So for me, it's actually always after me over surpassing whatever expectation they've had. So I've never had such an experience because I've over delivered even beyond what I promised.
So you know,
No.
Kenya became unfair.
No, and I always tell the new upcoming guys that see, always think of the value you want to add. Don't ever think of, oh, let me take so much, let me save so much. Invest, invest well, invest your time, invest whatever resources you can, lay your hands on. I've had to spend my money on clients' jobs before just to get the desired outlook.
I know.
Just to get the desired outlook. And of course, have I made money on other people's events? Yes. So there's always a balance in the long run.
Now, do you train? Because I see a lot of people in this industry saying I trained under this person, I trained under person. Do you do training?
So we actually have a training school. It's a Finesse Academy, yes. And then we just, I think, graduated about 15 students. So we do it quarterly.
15?
Yes. Yes, so we train.
What's your poison? I never see you drink anything at events. I have malt, I have beer, I have whiskey, I have brandy, I have red wine, I have water.
God will bless you because you were going to leave that water out. Okay, so what's my poison? When I need sugar in my system, I take maybe malt. I try not to take Coke because of the so much sugar. So for now, on this chair, my poison will be water.
Let me poison you with water. We'll take our poison and we'll come back. Welcome back. I'm still with the delectable and elegant Finesse. So you've done amazing events, you've trained, you make people's jaws drop. But how do you cope with, hello madam, we're at Obalende now. You see us in 2 minutes. Madam, we are almost close by. How do you cope with vendors? Have you ever had disappointment from any vendor?
Okay, so I always tell clients that the choices of their vendor will determine the success of their event. So, of course, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Well, for the kind of event I've done, there's some clients that will have preferred vendors to use, but then, the professional ones know their onions, and they would ensure that they stand out, and they put their A games on. Having, of course, related with them, you've done your meetings, you've given them expectation. For the good ones, they will deliver. And now, for those ones that are just coming up, because of course, you also need to understand that some people are just coming up, and you want to try to work with them. Of course, you see the sincerity in their honesty that, they're just trying to start. And you also, as the planner, try to work with them. For me, when I see some other planners having to, over push vendors, there are different ways you can get the best out of people. I don't believe that it's until when you talk them down, make them feel their self-moral, that you've been able to, bring out the best in them. There's the ability that you're willing to, show them through whatever they know that they can do better. So for me, I try to, and I always tell people, vendors can recommend you to a client. Vendors can also destroy you with a client. I try as much as possible to leave, good impressions with vendors. I try as much as, there's some situation where clients will even delay vendors money. That clients won't have paid you. And
you end up paying before the point.
Very few vendors have, the ability to be able to think through it that, okay, we can call this client this way, but then this person actually offered us, gave us this job. Let's try and reason it through with this person. Then, of course, our money will definitely get paid. But then there are some that, they will just, go over the board and they say, our payment or this. And sometimes I tell them, you can also reach out to the clients. Clients are not ghosts. You understand what I'm saying? But then there's some vendors that are very understandable. In the Nigerian event industry has been taken to another level. So they've brought their A games up, and of course you need to reckon with that, and of course give people credit for the hard work they're putting into their job. I've had good, beautiful relationship with a lot of vendors. As a matter of fact, there's no vendor that will call and they will turn down the event. They know that Kehinde would always come through for us, and of course they deliver on the job.
I have someone who said he's been slapped at an event. Not once, twice.
Wow.
Have you, as a client, ever gotten physical with you? As in, are you mad? Are you crazy? Has it ever happened to you?
Okay, so I could recall years back, my sister asked me that, Kendi, where did you get patience from? You look at me finish. You said next thing you want to do to me is to slap me. Even me, I'll not tell you what to make you slap me now. There's an event that we did, I think like some weeks ago. This brief was actually on an agency, but then it was a corporate job. The client was not so pleased about the way the agency was going about it, and they called us because we've been doing the event over the years and put us on the job. So we had very little or no time to do all because it was a lot of branding. And on that day, the client said, there was a mistake on this name. For every situation that was coming up, I was just trying to resolve. For every situation that was coming up, I was just trying to resolve. For every problem they had. As a matter of fact, one of those guys sent, it was a brand of a new, they were going to change they were going to unveil their new logo. And so the guys that were supposed to send the new company's logo design to my guys changed the logo color. As a matter of change the logo color. He said he was just trying to be creative. So you're trying to be creative
with logo.
With the brand. What they're trying to unveil, you're trying to be creative with it. And then the guy just went ahead with it, did the old 3D design, did the old print, paint, and all of that. And it was a corporate event. It was quite big. And when they saw it, they were like, Kende, will you guys? The said, don't worry, Mom. Don't worry, we'll get it sorted out. And in my head, this was around, I think, 12 a.m. I'm thinking in my head, this event is starting for 9 o'clock. How am I going to sort this out? I know, but then when they saw the calmness in me, they're like, I don't know how you do this thing, but I just give it to you. Before they came down, I'd called the guy that, okay, the person that sold this paint to you, let's call the guys. The guys were already up. They got to their shop on time. They sold the paint to us. We sprayed it. And we're going to bring it out from underneath the stage. We did all the vavadu that they didn't know the craziness that went on the ground, but then we had to deliver. And everything turned out amazingly well that they called off another event a week after.
Wow.
So for me, it's about you having to, push yourself, ensure that you live, even when things are going wrong. There's a way that you address it and you attend to it, that they'll know that, okay, this person has it under control and everybody will be fine. But no, I've never been slapped. I don't look like my face. Why were you even slapped?
Okay, how did you decide, when and how did you decide on Whitestone?
Okay, so as a matter of, I'm going to ask Teju. There's an interview I did with Teju, I think like some 6 years ago. And I said to Teju that, what I actually want to do is to own an event center. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. So it's something that I've always trusted God for, through the years. My New Year resolution, New Year's goal and wishes that, okay, this is what I will pen it down up on my list, that God, I'm trusting you for this. And there's a way that you keep at something and you keep trusting God. Somehow, God just, bring all this, our dreams and aspirations to reality. So for years, I've actually been looking forward to that. And yeah, God made it possible.
Now, let me talk on behalf of my brother now. Finesse Events. Blue Moon. Moonstone. Jadeite. Whitestone.
Amber
Lagos. Coral Lodge. How and when do you have time to rest?
Okay, so I have a beautiful team, an amazing team that so they've come to understand me. And like I always say, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I'd rather spend my money on errands. So I have good people that will carry, as in they've honed the job. They know what to do. I don't even really break. Whitestone does not stress me one bit. And yeah, that's the truth. And they know, because of course, so the bookings are there. They need to clean up the hall. They have a general manager that puts everybody on their toes, check what they're doing. There's an accountant. An auditor comes in to check all our books. We have tax consultants, so we pay our tax.
So everything runs seamlessly.
So there's an HR. So I don't really break my sweat on Whitestone, and everything is fine. So why make the money and not spend it? So I spend. So I spend the money and I have peace of mind. Yeah.
So I've exhausted this. And let me tell you the truth. Half of the questions that I didn't ask you, I've asked many more questions than I have here.
Okay.
So for me, this is a book. Let's drop this big book
Okay.
and carry
The
this small
one.
book. This game is called the GCON Charade.
Okay.
I'm going to be describing some people,
Hey.
event, places, and all that to you.
Okay.
You have 5 of them. Your time is until the sand
Finish.
runs. It finishes from one end and runs to the other end. And I have an amazing prize to give to you.
Oh my goodness.
So,
God.
are you ready?
Mm-mm.
Are you ready?
I think I am.
1,
Bring it on.
2, 3, go! Is regarded as the father of comedy in Nigeria. What's his name?
Alibaba.
He's a social media network. It's not Instagram. It's not Facebook. It's not Thread. What is it?
TikTok.
TikTok. The biggest network, TV network in Nigeria.
YouTube.
No, TV network in Nigeria. They say you can't beat the rich.
You can be the rich. Oh my goodness. CNN.
Okay, you can say next.
Next.
He's a TV comedian. His head is bapped. He's always styling rapper. He has a song. He used to have a magazine back in the days. He has a son that they call him the father of the son.
Ah, TV comedian.
Nigerian. He's from.
You're looking at it. You
He's
want it to
from,
finish.
he's from Wale Adenuga.
Papa
Adenuga. This is a TV search show. It's a drink that does it.
You're the one that finished it. Right?
You got 4 actually.
Yeah.
You got Alibaba, you got TikTok, you got Papa Adenuga. What I was trying to describe to you, let me see if you get it. It's a TV search show. It was put together by a beer, by
Ultimate said Big Brother.
Good Ultimate.
Ultimate search.
Okay, so
I got it.
you've done well. One for each question. 2, 3, 4. You didn't get the 5th one.
You need to hand out my ultimate search.
I'll give
Because
you.
I got ultimate search.
I'll give you. You didn't get it. I'll give you. All
You
right.
didn't explain it so well. But when you explained it, I got it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my viewers at home, that's my sister. I've been gisting with Kenny Finesse. You know, a lot of times, I try to remember Onobanjo Iyiola.
Yeah.
All that sticks in my head is Kenny Finesse, Kenny Finesse, Kenny. I'm sure they will tell me one day I want to travel, I want to collect visa. They will not say, okay, you've done a lot of jobs. Who are the planners that give you jobs? I say, Kenny Finesse. Say, what's her name? I say, hey, Kenny. That's how they will deny me. Don't put me in trouble. No. All right, so my darling sister, I appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for showing young ladies that they can succeed despite all society throws at them and says. I hope you love this picture. I loved it when I saw it.
This is beautiful.
I loved it when I saw
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
you.
Please,
Thank
there's
you
a
very
there's a
much.
little book here
Yeah.
from my big mommy, Senator Mrs. Olure Tinubu, First Lady of Nigeria. It's titled The Journey of Grace, but for His mercy. I think you'll enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to add something to this. So there's someone outside there that is really dear to my heart, and that is Mr. Akin Sugar. So I think some, can I say 16 years? No, sorry, maybe 18 years ago, as an usher, he saw this young lady and he said, "You're going to go very far."
Wow.
Yes. And he was going to even recommend me for a job. But then, we're very timid. I'm like, no. I told my, then big sister that, okay. So, and, the fact that he was able to just see
the future.
Yes. And he's been there through the years. I just want to appreciate him and thank you for all you've been. I love you so much. We might not talk so often.
He's never told me I will go for it. He must tell me today.
Of course, we don't talk so often. But trust me, that place, that special place, you still remain there.
Thank you very much, my sister. God bless you. Okay, we'll take a picture or we'll take pictures.